talk about what's going on in the world of AI adoption and some of the trends that are most important. Seema Shah is with us, VP of Insights, Sensor Tower here. And, you know, what's interesting is the government was using Anthropic and Claude and had gone to the CEO of Anthropic on multiple occasions and said, look, we need to, you know, iron out some things here. And at some point, Pete Hegseth just said, forget it.
Yes.
You know, and then now I heard it was another person that said to Dario, you know, whatever his name is, from Anthropic, and said, listen, this is not what we want. We don't want to have nationalization of AI, so you better start playing ball. What's really going on?
Well, the way that we see the news is essentially, look, Anthropic walked away from having anything to do with using their technology for what's happening right now in the Middle East. That left the Pentagon to pivot to ChatGPT, owned by OpenAI. And so what we see, at least here with our data, is sort of a visceral reaction from U.S. consumers about how they feel about these apps based on what's happening politically. So it's like the apps have become so ubiquitous and AI so ubiquitous. What happens in the general sort of zeitgeist now impacts the way people use it. And essentially, if you think about it, the average consumer doesn't know the difference between Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude. They just go switch from one to the other, right? So it's sort of like we've seen with retailers, something bad happens, or you know, there's things with the social consciousness and people don't like it, and then it's sort of the same thing where you see a pullback in one. Now, to be fair, ChatGPT is by far the largest AI chatbot. It still continues to grow, but what we did see was a rapid acceleration of uninstalls.
So let's talk about the tech trade, because the IPO market, we know that there are upcoming AI-related IPOs.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, obviously, OpenAI, one
yes.
of them. What do you think about that? Like, where are we headed in the future with OpenAI and other IPOs or, you know, trades
yes.
that can happen?
I mean, can't particularly speak for the IPO market now, but
yeah.
I think you'll see a series of IPOs, not unlike what we saw when tech companies came out or the internet bubble. And I think what we'll see once we see the figures and the actual revenue and profitability of some of these companies, you'll see some of them kind of fade away or be rolled up into the larger ones, right? Because I don't know how profitable some of them are, some of the smaller ones in particular, or companies that just have AI features and they're trying to go out as an AI company, if they're trying to go public. And I think we'll kind of see sort of a narrowing of the market, and the multiple will be on the best performing and probably the most profitable.
What about advertising or making money or monetization,
yes.
revenue streams? Where's that coming
right.
into
Well,
the
right
story?
now we know that ChatGPT started to have ads, and we
yeah.
saw them in media and entertainment and food and drink, and it's still very small, so we don't have enough history to really say. But if we want to use streaming as an analogy, and if everything stays as it is right now, ChatGPT is the equivalent of Netflix. It's by far the largest, has the highest level of engagement. So on an advertising basis, a very attractive platform, because advertisers know users are there and they're going to see their ad, right? So I would look at it like that. And then the value and monetization of the other platforms, again, will be dependent upon who their target user is and also how much they can maintain engagement, right? Because it doesn't behoove me to spend money on advertising on a platform that doesn't have as much engagement, which is why, for example, Netflix is able to grow its advertising, why Instagram is so successful, because of that level of engagement, right? You kind of get what you pay for. And I think that's what we'll see something similar in the AI.
Well, I'm so glad you're here, because, I mean, AI is here to stay.
Yes.
Right? I
yes.
mean, we think about the AI frenzy or the AI revolution.
Yes.
And there were some people who were so worried about a bubble or forget AI. You know,
yes.
I don't know if they thought it was coming and going. What say you?
Oh, I don't think it's going, but I don't know that it'll stay the same way that it is, right? There's sort of a rush of everybody has something .ai attached
right.
to their name and they have
right.
AI features. I think that will sort of normalize. You'll have the chatbots and you'll have the big, but I think we'll see kind of a normalization on what is actually AI in other functions and features going forward.
Seema Shah, VP
yes.
of Insights, Sensor Tower. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's great to see you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
likewise.
it. And we'll continue to follow all things AI.